Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network. Hi, this is Amit Doshi, and I wanted to thank each and every one of our listeners. It's been 2 years since I founded IVM, and it's been an amazing 2 years. We wanted to learn a little bit more about who is listening to our shows, and so we put together a short survey. The survey is anonymous, and we aren't going to be collecting any personal information. I would really appreciate it if you could take a couple of minutes out of your day and go to ivmpodcast.com/survey and fill it out. Thanks, and please keep listening.
You're listening to TFG Cricket.
Hello guys, good morning. Welcome to a new episode of TFG Cricket Podcast. We are here continuing with our IPL series, the preview of all the teams. Today we have Kings XI Punjab. I have CP Thomas and Vivek Krishnan with me. I'll tell you what, the owners of Kings XI Punjab, before the season started, they went to an astrologer and asked him ki lucky alphabet kaun sa hai? He said M. How many players do we have with M in Kings XI Punjab?
Fantastic start, Nikhil.
दो ही चाहिए, Maxwell and Miller. That's
Morgan, Mohit Sharma,
Ard now, fuck that.
Martin Guptill.
Nahi re, only the second name. So, we're talking Morgan, Maxwell and Miller. If KXIP have to get into the playoffs, highly unlikely in my opinion, these three have to fire every second game. And then the problem with their international commitments, Morgan will leave somewhere in the second week of May to play against Ireland and then South Africa. Along with him, David Miller will also depart. So the only M is Glenn Maxwell. The problem for me is how can you, I don't understand the thought process, how can you ask Glenn Maxwell to lead a beleaguered team? He has his own set of problems. Somebody as mercurial as him, he's a freak on the cricket field. There is no question about it. But he has his own set of issues, Nikhil. And we saw how it backfired in 2016, when they asked David Miller, the match winner, to captain the team. He was clueless. He didn't know what to do, what to achieve, I must say. So, you have learnt a lesson. You know it doesn't work. Especially when you had roped in Eoin Morgan, who has been an established leader. I'll come to Darren Sammy a little later. I want to talk more in detail. So this has really been a bizarre decision. I can tell you it is going to backfire. Delhi Daredevils have gone through this. Kings XI Punjab, they had Murli Vijay as their captain. They had David Miller as their captain. They had Riddhiman Saha captaining. It's a ridiculous bunch. The owners also lack cricketing sense. But I'm surprised, even if you look at their coaching staff, who is heading I think Virender Sehwag is their mentor or director of operations. And then there is nobody else. You go to their website, you look at the support staff. There is R. Sridhar, who's India's fielding coach. Besides him, nobody else. So, I don't know how they're going to, what plan they have. Do they have great depth, variety? You look at Manan Vora, you look at Murli Vijay, Akshar Patel, Sandeep Sharma, Mohit Sharma.
So the domestic players are not up to the mark?
Bilkul bhi nahi.
As per the T20 standards.
We have previewed the bigger teams, Mumbai, RCB. We spoke about, we'll talk about KKR obviously. But compared to these teams, Indian strength, nobody, boss. How many of Kings XI Punjab's local players are in the Indian team? Can you name one?
Akshar Patel.
In and out. In fact, out hi pakado. There is only one guy who's been playing consistently, that is Murli Vijay. But that is also 50. That's also test match cricket.
Yeah.
One day mein koi bhi nahi hai. So it clearly tells you, in my opinion, आगे मेरे को बोलने का ही नहीं है, they won't make it.
ऐसे मत. For a change, I'll start with agreeing with Vivek on the captaincy. Maxwell is a bad choice. See, Kings XI Punjab, if at all they're remembered, it's for that one season where they just, ran through the opposition. It was like they were the team to beat, and they lost the final by a whisker. I mean, it's a final they should have won. And what stood out was the Miller-Maxwell show, and even an innings by Saha in the final. So, despite Miller-Maxwell failing. So, you need a superb, it's like a almost impossible run like that for a team like Kings XI Punjab, which doesn't have all-round strength and depth in anything. So you need 2 or 3 guys to fire consistently. They have done it once. It's in the record books. But will it happen again? Definitely not, because both Miller and Maxwell after that season have just, not just in, the IPL, but even overall in their performance for their teams, it's been nothing great to write about. So it's going to be a tough task. Morgan should have been captain, there's no doubt about it. You don't have to experiment with these kind of things. When it beats you, why should Maxwell be captain? It's like bizarre. Are you expecting because he is captain, he'll take great responsibility? But he is not a player of responsibility. He's a player who goes out there and scores runs. And he can either come as an opener and score runs or come 5 down and score. So, and this is not going to suddenly change his batting style. In fact, it's going to put more pressure on him and his natural style, I would think. So it's going to be a tough task for them. You really need... now, are you expecting Miller to take on the challenge? Okay, now he's not captain, so let me perform. It's going to be very difficult because each team, as we have seen, is super strong, at least on paper. Each one has its inherent problems and lack of depth or whatever. But on their day, any of these teams are if 2 or 3 players fire, they're unbeatable. So how Kings XI Punjab is going to come out of this rut, you just have to pray that Maxwell and Miller again put on a show. And I really don't know.
We should have got Preeti Zinta on the show, Nikhil.
Is it because that they are 10 years ho gaya, they might not continue the contract?
No,
because there is absolutely no fan support as well.
That has been their major problem. I can remember the initial 2 years they had a strong base, and I remember when Kings XI beat Mumbai Indians. Nikhil, I'm sure you'll remember this. So there was a qualifying spot at stake, the number 4th spot, and Yuvraj ran, I think it was Harbhajan, and he ran round the ground, and that is when a lot of Punjabis had come over to the Wankhede, and they were doing very well. Season 1, Season 2 also, they did pretty much okay, and that is when they had the strong base in Mohali. But suddenly their fans have disappeared. You see empty stands. I'm not talking empty seats, I'm talking empty stands at Chandigarh. That's a major cause of concern, because you look at the other teams, KKR, RCB, Mumbai Indians, Chennai Super Kings, they have a strong base. And when you are languishing, who can pull you out of that rut? Only the fans. And they play a huge role, especially in a format like T20, when you have this home and away system. They don't have anybody. I'm not too sure about their promoters. I'm not too sure about, like you said, they were considering, they didn't want to continue for whatever reasons. This was in 2015. And they had a lot of problems. Obviously, nobody knows the commercial aspects of who's making how much money. We don't know that. But if you continue to fail, if you don't deliver the desired results, what is the incentive for you to carry on? And you're looking, it's only 10 years. At the end of the day, only 10 saal hua hai. And this product is here to stay. You're looking at the next, 20, 30 years maybe, and long may it continue. But if there is no rich culture, if there is no tradition, if there is no winning habit, who is going to come and... I understand all the people are going to go back into the pool. But the owners are going to remain the same. And okay, you learn from your mistakes year 1, year 2, year 3. But if you keep committing the same errors, and there is an impasse in the, I would say, the owners also. Because like we know, there are quite a few owners, of the Punjab team.
This ownership thing is, if at all, if it affects one team, it's Kings XI Punjab.
Yes.
And it's not that, except for Preeti Zinta, who came in, of course, for the
glamour side of...
glamour side, and at that time she was dating
Wadia,
and so there was nothing wrong in her being the face of it, and it worked well for IPL as well as the team. But Kings XI Punjab has been a team which has been on the block always. They have been looking for buyers at all times. These current promoters want to exit, and because of various BCCI related reasons and how IPL has turned out. So it's just a matter of time before Kings XI Punjab finds new owners. And this last season, in fact, it doesn't matter. The only stakeholders to whom this season matters is the players, who will have to put on a good show so that next year they get decent amounts.
I agree.
So because this year has shown that if you are not a performer, if you are not available for the entire season, if there is even a slight doubt about your
reputation alone doesn't get you big bucks.
Yeah, now that era in IPL has gone. You need to prove things. You need to prove that you're a great team man. You can win matches. You have consistent form. You are available for the entire season. All these factors come into play. You're injury free. You're a great fielder. Small things, but all these matter. So here what's going to happen with Kings XI Punjab is there are a lot of players whose career in IPL is at stake. And it's going to be individual shows where each of them will try to prove that, okay, this season I averaged this much, I am good, I can do this, I won 3 matches. It's almost like creating a new resume for the next 10 years. So that's what's going to happen. For the owners, they are out in the market. It's no hidden secret. So they will try to sell the team. Next year will be all fresh, and so probably a buyer will come in. Rajasthan Royals and Kings XI Punjab have always been known to find buyers because with the ownership they always wanted to get out of the business as long as they made a decent amount of money. But so coming back to the team, it's actually you have to look at the individual, some 7 to 10 players.
Not even 7 to 10.
For them, for individually for them. For each, not for 7 to 10, all of them matter. They want to play IPL next year.
And whether also the ticket to the Indian team. So many of them. Sandeep Sharma, Mohit Sharma, Akshar Patel.
Yeah, I know, but that apart, at one level, that looks a more difficult task than playing the next IPL. So they would rather perform on the IPL platform so that at least in the next IPL. So even if I am not on the BCCI contract and don't get, my 30 lakh, 50 lakh, a crore is at least 1 year mein itna to ban jata.
Good enough.
Yeah, good enough. So there are these 10 players, and this includes an Amla, this includes Maxwell, this includes Miller, Morgan, all of them. They have, because there is a substitute for each one of them, and there are only 8 teams.
And we haven't spoken about 3 more guys: Martin Kaptil, Sean Marsh, and Marcus Stoinis.
Yes. So so all these 10, 12 players, I'm actually 10, 12 players for them. This IPL matters a lot because they are nowhere in that top rung where कि ये आदमी चाहिए ही चाहिए. He is a Amla आया नहीं आया doesn't make a difference. Even a Morgan, if he is not taken to any team, he has sat on the bench for many times. So it doesn't make a difference. Maxwell Miller make a difference. But if their form is not going to support them, even people will say, I can't depend on him. It's going to be very difficult. So should I or should I not? So if I get a better substitute, I might as well take him.
And this might actually work for the Kings 11 when everybody starts playing
for
purely,
themselves.
Yes, and not for the franchisee. Okay, purely selfish reason. I will play because I want to be picked by some team. I don't care. And if everybody starts thinking in the same direction, it helps Kings 11. Nobody complains.
Then it doesn't matter. You can play without a captain also.
Yes. Yes. Then it doesn't
matter. The bowlers
matter.
will bowl their 4 over. So this might just work. It's like, there's a saying that the worst person you should have as an opponent is somebody who has nothing to lose. These guys have nothing to lose. They, like Maxwell has, because if he had continued his season, it would have been great. But this year he has to do something. It doesn't matter if the team is 8th, but if Maxwell scores 4 50s and 2 centuries, ban gaya uska next year.
Interesting, you say they don't have nothing to lose, but they will find different reasons to lose.
This
has been their problem, Nikhil. This has been their problem.
See, this year the problem is they won't find different reasons to lose. The opposition will have read them so well that it's going to be difficult.
You know what, you were speaking about Marcus Stoinis. I wanted to mention one thing. During the auction, I personally wanted them to pick George Bailey, because when he was in the team, there was a different atmosphere altogether. I think
we talk about the 2014 edition.
Yeah.
Yes, it was the Miller-Maxwell show.
But it was Bailey who led them. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And he came in and chipped in those 30-40 runs in no time without anybody knowing, It's like...
He's that kind of a player that nobody notices, but the scoreboard...
just keeps ticking. Yeah, it's like... Suddenly
Delhi Daredevils, please go for George Bailey.
Yeah.
Please go for him. I don't understand. So, shocking they let him go in the first place.
Yeah.
And... now that they have Darren Sammy Nikhil, I think records will tell you he has been the best T20 captain for the last 3-4 years.
Yes. Irrespective of franchise, irrespective of leagues.
He has won West Indies 2 cups. He's won Peshawar Zalmi the trophy. He has won trophies in the Bangladesh Premier League. He's won trophies in the Ram Slam T20. And he has been a success. He has been an integral part of the Big Bash. If you look at his resume, 5-6 lines will be win, or 1-1, whatever. This is Darren Sammy. What does he bring to the table? Captaincy. And he's that guy who doesn't put pressure on his players. I'm yet to hear anybody talk bad about Darren Sammy.
And especially in a team like West Indies,
where there is a lot of bickering going on.
Problems with the board, problems within players, so many things. Yeah.
Yes, and that's where I think he came in at 30 lakhs. Can you believe it, Nikhil? 30 lakhs. He'll take it very happily. He won't complain. He's that sort of a guy. He's not a great contributor with the ball, with the bat, but he's that utility guy, man. वो 6 ball पे 2 6 मार सकता है. He can pick a few wickets. He's a fantastic fielder. And he can marshal his troops. Everybody loves his energy, that enthusiasm. And it is very important. When the spirit is low, you need somebody like a Darren Sammy in the dressing room. Good Kings XI Punjab. I don't know why they went for him. They must have thought, okay, we have 30 lakhs, so we'll pick somebody. Okay, at the end of the day, kuch bhi logic hone do, it should work for them.
Yeah, but now that we speak about him, I have a feeling Maxwell will be captain for the first 2 matches, and they are going to change. And Maxwell खुद बोलेगा कि boss ठीक है हो गया.
I'll tell you how operations work. I don't know who's the किसका brain है इसके पीछे. So they name Maxwell as the captain. They go into the auction. They pick Morgan and Sammy.
Yeah.
Please explain. So talking about first 2 games Maxwell को देना, I don't think so.
Since अभी बोल दिया तो you can't be seen.
Yeah, in fact Maxwell should go and tell them, boss, give it to one of these guys. Let me only bat.
Yeah.
Because if you give Maxwell the responsibility of being a captain, which means you're telling him you will not be dropped. Now that is not good. For a player, Maxwell, he has to know this, okay, any moment I might go. And that is when he'll get you his runs.
But somebody, this is the IPL. Ricky Ponting also has sat on the bench. So it's like...
Ricky Ponting sat on the bench. One of the reasons Mumbai have an excellent record.
Yeah.
With Kings XI Punjab, you fail 5 matches, you will play the 6th match also. That's why they are at the bottom of the table. It is as simple as that. So
नहीं अभी 2 captain है. अभी problem is किसको captain किसको vice captain बनना.
My problem is who is going to be sacrificed. We haven't spoken about Sean Marsh. We haven't spoken about Marcus Stoinis. I think Marcus Stoinis has to be in the playing 11, especially after his exploits in that Big Bash and that 150 no time against the Kiwis. He has to play. But if he plays, can you omit Morgan, Maxwell, Miller? I'm not too sure. I think Miller and Morgan, there'll be a toss-up between the two. Because you also have to play Darren Sammy somewhere. You also have to open with Sean Marsh, because if you just go into the record books, who has been Punjab's best batsman, Indian and overseas combined? Sean Marsh.
Absolutely.
No one is close to him. So it is a very difficult choice. And after March, they went for Amla and Martin Guptill. Why? And they're like Pune in the bowling department. Not a single overseas bowler. Yes, Matt Henry. But how often does Matt Henry play for New Zealand?
New Zealand, yeah.
So, I don't understand. And not a single world-class spinner.
Actually, the bowling department is pretty different.
Imran Tahir should have been in the Punjab camp, not in Pune's camp. Rashid Khan should have been in... Punjab's squad. So these are you can debate, you can talk, you can criticize, but Everything is done and dusted. Now it's time to perform. Can
So
they? I don't think so.
I think the initial, at least the first or second match, they will have to go with Miller, Maxwell, Sean Marsh, and even a Morgan, I would think.
Yeah.
So even rest all will warm the benches, and they'll play it match by match, and it's going to be like that. There's no, I don't see a strategy for the entire season and all that. So, like we discussed, Maxwell, if he fires in the first two matches, he will stand up and say, I'll be the captain for the entire season. If he doesn't, we'll see a Sammy or a Morgan come in, more likely a Sammy. And that should do them good. Of course, there's a huge problem with which four to play foreigners. There's going to be always a toss-up. But I think this whole thing about Maxwell Miller not performing last season has got into their mind कि एक ने खेला तो दूसरा कोई तो है बेंच पे, उसको भी चांस दे दो. Let's see how it goes.
दूसरा तीसरा करते you go down to Akshar Patel and Riddhiman Saha. What do you expect, man?
So I think their top scorer this season is going to be Saha. I have a great feeling in that.
Want to talk about the Indian batting? Murli Vijay, Manan Vora, Gurkirat Singh. What do you expect, Nikhil?
So Saha is number 4. Dhoni udhar number 4 खेलेगा, यहाँ Saha खेलेगा number 4.
And then the two Sharmas with the
Mohit
ball.
and Sandeep.
Very predictable. Can they run through an opposition? Their spinners, KC Kariyappa, probably their best spinner ahead of Akshar Patel. But otherwise, there is nobody. So that's
there was this one player which was picked at 3 crores, I guess.
T Natarajan.
See, it's that's if at all anybody should have paid 3 crores. I personally feel this is the guy who should have got, because he comes with a lot of now hype around him of being compared to Mustafizur and that he can bowl Yorkers. So see, Bumrah, when he came in also, this was the thing, who is Bumrah, but finally he is winning matches for Mumbai. So if this guy, my only worry about him, he needed a better captain. He needed a better coaching team.
So important.
Yeah. If they persist with him, if they don't, if for the first match he just gets, let's say, stage fright and he loses some 40 runs, they shouldn't drop him like they did with Karayappa. So if they give him a prolonged run, saying ki first 5 matches boss tu hai, you just go out there and
that is what you need as a youngster.
Yeah,
and he did phenomenally well in the Tamil Nadu Premier League. And somebody who could bowl Yorkers at well. Obviously, this is a different stage, more demanding. Pressure is going to be on him. And like he said, you need a great skipper, man.
Yeah.
You need a great skipper. So if he goes for 40 in 4, it can be demoralizing. And then suddenly somebody tells you, man, you're not playing the next game. What good has it done for you? Nothing. So you need to show confidence. I don't care, somebody spanks you, it's okay. Come back a better man next day. This is
Again, there's nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose.
No, but
does Kings XI Punjab think that
if
they are
I was a member of the
I
BCCI, I would write a letter to the Kings XI management. I would tell them, I don't care what happens to your campaign this year. I would pay you some money if you can unearth some talent, and straight away I would handpick into the Indian team. That's all. And I don't care if you vanish, but do me this favor.
If not, listen, for Natarajan, it's a great platform. If he does half well also, he has a good chance of getting into the Indian team, at least in the shorter format. Okay. There's no doubt about that.
So they play their first match against Rising Pune Super Giant, who themselves is a bit depleted. But
man, I wanted to jump into that, but good. Yes, CP, please go ahead. I would call for a tie.
The simple thing, we can't go against our own analysis. Our analysis said plan A of Rising Pune is excellent. Okay. Now if they by the time they meet the Kings XI Punjab, they have to fall back on plan B, which they don't have, then they have a problem. If plan A of RPS works, all opposition is going to have a problem. And Kings XI Punjab definitely.
Bolo.
Maybe RPS. But it's going to be a dull match.
No, there are no dull matches in IPL. That is,
But obviously I don't see them in the top 4.
Yeah, that's
Even Kings XI Punjab themselves.
No, I'm talking about Kings XI only.
Yeah, they themselves don't see them in the top 4.
That's the problem.
See, don't laugh it off. The first 7 matches, the first half
Yes.
it makes a lot of difference. You're getting in. See, don't forget that what we spoke about players not having nothing to lose. The same thing could affect the better teams. Where
the reverse.
Where a Gautam Gambhir will stand at the crease to ensure that he gets his 50.
Boss, he was paid 10 crores. He would want at least half of it
Next year. So
it's as simple as that.
So all these big players are going to be very selfish in this IPL, and it's going to have a lot of
And
impact.
talk about being selfish, Mumbai Indians.
Yeah.
It starts from the owner.
Absolutely. So it's going to be a really interesting IPL with how the players are going to approach each game. Team is going to matter second. So that's a fact. So it can work both ways.
We'll have to see.
Yeah,
Yes.
Great.
So before we wrap up this captaincy, we don't know who's going to captain game 1, game 2. But what I can tell you from previous experiences is it's all about the hug from Preeti Zinta. The more frequent it gets to a particular individual. That's it. Please wrap it up.
Okay, that was some real deep, in-depth analysis.
Yeah.
Anyways, you can read, guys, more article on our website, thefangarage.com, on IPL. You can connect us via Twitter and Facebook at The Fan Garage. You can listen to our podcast on IndusWorks Media, Audio Boom, SoundCloud, iTunes, and definitely on YouTube. Subscribe, share, like, and comment, and do download this IVM podcast app on Android and iOS. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.
Hey man, just help me out, man. I need some podcast, man. I haven't had a fix in a week. Just need some.
Don't you worry about it. I got podcast galore for you, man. Just go to ivmpodcast.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Thanks, man. I'm gonna check it out.